Live from Vacherie, Louisiana on the campus of St. James High School, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana high school football. Tonight we have got a dandy for the District 8 3A title and so much more as the E.D. White Catholic Cardinals take on the St. James Wildcats. And hi again, everybody. Lenny Van Gilder, along with Wade Kaiser, Chip Merritt, our producer this evening, Matt Merritt and Pearson Morgan, bringing you the pictures here tonight. Wade, you got district title, you got rivalry, you've got power rankings, an undefeated season for one team. What else do you need in Week 10, right?
Well, we got perfect weather, and we've already said that, it's all lining up. The stars are lining up for a great football game here in Vacherie, absolutely.
Beautiful downtown Vacherie, as they call it here in these parts, by the way. And it's
with outstanding jambalaya.
It is a perfect night for football, no doubt about it. Let's talk about these two teams, Wade. E.D. White has had a lot of success lately in Division II Select, got to the semis a year ago, and in 2020, got to the state championship game in 2021 under 15th-year head coach Kyle Lassane. And they're going to do some things offensively. Yeah, you see so much more spread offensive stuff. They're still very option-based in terms of what it is that they're running schematically.
Well, I think they do a lot of things based on their talent, right? And, a lot of times your talent will tell you exactly what you can do offensively and defensively from the skill standpoint. So they have found something that they can hang their hat on, and they're an option-based offense, which allows them to be able to not only use deception, but one of the greatest things about option-based offenses is you don't have to block everybody, right? So you can leave some people unblocked. That's where the option comes in. You read, then you option off of somebody. So they've found this offense. They've been running it for a long time. They've put some different twists in it. They've spread it out a little bit. They throw it a little bit when they have to, but it works for them, and definitely it's paid dividends over the past years for Coach Lassane.
E.D. White averages 49 points a game on the season. They have not been held under 40 the entire season. A week ago, stepped out of district to beat Sam Houston 45-31, and what's really been the closest game that they've played all year. 14 points. Everything else has been really a blowout along the way. And tonight figures to be, maybe their biggest test against a St. James team that also can put points on the board, averaging 41.9 points a game. Lost their opener to East St. John right here by the score 41-40, and they've rattled off 8 in a row since then.
And that's a really good East St. John team that they lost to by 1 point, right? So, yes, they can put points on the board. Like you said, 41.9 points per game average. These guys know how to get in the end zone, and it has to do with that vaunted St. James speed. If there's something that they have in Vacherie, it's all over the place. It's the ability to run, and they can run the football. They can run down the football when it's in the air, and they can run you down defensively.
We'll obviously see quarterbacks doing different things tonight as the E.D. White Cardinals take the field. Jake Sternfels, the quarterback for E.D. White, has thrown for 943 yards and 13 touchdowns, but obviously he's out there to engineer, that option-based offense. On the other hand, St. James will spread it out. Braden Williams, the senior, has thrown for nearly 1,800 yards and 25 touchdowns. His favorite target, Kobe Brown, 47 catches for 943 yards and 12 touchdowns. And, by the way, he's got a 69-yard touchdown run for good measure.
Yeah, a lot of times you're going to get the ball into Kobe Brown's hands, and it doesn't have to be the deep vertical, right? It can be the quick screen, the quick bubble screen, the quick tunnel screen, something like that, and then just let him do his magic. Like I said, everybody out here in Vacherie can flat run. Well, so, and that speaks well for St. James' skill as well as their athletic offensive and defensive linemen.
Now, E.D. White, we talk about their running game, but they've got a really good-looking receiver we were watching during warm-ups, and 6'4", 200-pound Paxton LaFont, who's got 31 catches, averages over 20 yards a catch, and 10 touchdowns on the year. So, and that's one thing. You remember, if you remember watching Georgia Tech when they had Megatron, Calvin Johnson, he put up enormous numbers. Why? Because you run, and then you can go over the top like that. So that works to the advantage of somebody like LaFont, who's got a big body and a big radius that can go up and get the ball and make plays. And you commented to me before the game, he has a great chance of being able to play well at the collegiate level.
No doubt. The way he runs and the way his build is, right, they'll be able to put some weight on him. and he's got a nice set of hands athletically. He'll be able to play at the next level, I think, in my opinion, somewhere as an H-back. And we see it now in all levels, those tight ends that don't have their hands on the ground, but they line up in the slot, they line up in the H-back position and things of that nature, and they become mismatches for free safeties, strong safeties, and linebackers.
We're waiting on the coin toss. St. James is going to bring all their seniors out. You can't bring them all to the middle of the field. They'll be assistant captains, if you will, but you'll have 4 go out for the toss with all of the other ones staying at the numbers there. So again, E.D. White 9-0, St. James 8-1. Both of these teams 3-0 in district. Let's talk about the power rankings ramifications. By the way, we will get into all of the power ranking information at halftime. And, we encourage you, of course, to follow the scoreboard at CrescentCitySports.com. No better place to get your scores. But our partners at GoPreps will be keeping up in real time later tonight on all of the updates in terms of the power rankings. And that's the place to get all the latest in terms of what may happen there. But both of these teams come into tonight at number 3 in their respective division. E.D. White will play in Division II Select. St. James will play in Division III Non-Select. Both in position to have a bye next week as it stands right now. So we get the word on our coin toss from the Thibodeau Association. E.D. White has won the toss. They will defer, so St. James is going to get the football to start the game. And look, you got really good defenses as well as offenses out here. E.D. White has allowed only 11.8 points per game, and that's with allowing 31 to Sam Houston last week. St. James has allowed 15 points per game. You see the wind on Old Glory there. A little bit of a breeze, not as cold as it's been in recent days here. Temperatures reached the 70s today, but it is an absolutely perfect night for Week 10 football in Louisiana. We'll pause now for our national anthem from Vacherie.
Father in heaven, we ask your blessing on the game we are about to play. Give each one of us the courage to play this game in a manner which, by our words and actions, is pleasing to you. Let us enter into this competition in a spirit of sportsmanship and of respect for the other players and opposing teams. We ask you, Father, to bless each one of us, especially the coaches, officials, parents, and players. Keep us under the protection of your Son, Jesus Christ, and help us be aware of his presence with us in this game. Amen.
Now, after our invocation, our national anthem from St. James.
And the national anthem.
National anthem from Vacherie as we get set for football in Week 10 of this Louisiana high school football season. We remind you, of course, check out all the scores all night at CrescentCitySports.com. We also want to remind you Sunday at 11 a.m. on the LHSAA network on their YouTube channel. The selection show is back this year, so you can watch all the brackets unveiled as they are announced at 11 a.m. Sunday on the LHSA network. So tune in for that. It's always it kind of beats the days of like going to Baton Rouge and bringing your films with you and handing them off and finding out who you're going to play, right?
This technology thing has taken it to a whole different level, right? So back in the day, we used to have to cart every one of our game films up to Baton Rouge, sit around and wait until your class came up, and then they would unveil the bracket, and you'd have to go out and search up the coach you were playing and decide on what games you were going to trade.
So E.D. White again won the toss, deferred. Ty Powell, the sophomore, handles all of the kicking duties for the Cardinals. St. James, they got 9 men up close and 2 men standing at the 20-yard line. Now they're going to spread out here. I guess that little muddle huddle look that E.D. White does, they've obviously shown some onside kick tendencies out of it. St. James was ready for it. Now they'll spread back to about the 5. And this kick on its way and will go into the end zone for a touchback. So St. James will begin the opening possession at the 20-yard line. And once again, it's the senior Braden Williams, a 61% passer, 1,783 yards on the year, 25 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's also run for 401 yards and 9 touchdowns. So Williams has accounted for 34 scores by himself. We'll see. It's like 4 wide receivers and a man in a slot, so an empty backfield to start things for the Wildcats. Now they'll motion a man into the backfield. Play action, pass this side, caught. First look at Kobe Brown tonight, first down, out past the 30 to about the 34-yard line, a gain of 14.
Yeah, well, you're going to see St. James spreading it around tonight. They're going to try to get into all their receivers' hands. Here's a good look at how they out-leverage the outside linebacker right here on a simple little flat route. Ball's put on target. Nice job right there. Great catch, throw, nice pickup.
Flag before this one can get underway, coming from the umpire. It's a false start against St. James.
Well, those are the things you got to not have, obviously, in Week 10. I mean, I say it all the time. You just can't have a nice pickup and a nice gain by Kobe Brown, and then it's 5 yards of it's negated. Right. It's walked backwards, and you're behind the sticks again.
Right, now it's sticks, right? Now it's 1st and 15.
Right. And
they'll come back in the same formation. You see those tight players to the bottom of your screen. Now they're going to throw it out far side in the flat and room to run. Out past midfield into E.D. White territory. That is Jakias Villanueva. Does a little bit of everything. The sophomore with his 29th catch of the season.
Yeah, RPO action. Everybody watch right here. You can see offensive line is faking run on the inside zone, and you're hitting Villanueva coming across the quarterback, kind of backwards into a little flare pass, and then he turns on the jets. That's one thing St. James has, is jets.
They'll call it the 47-yard line. A gain of 24. That was Connie King Young, the sophomore, with 612 yards rushing. He'll pick up 3 there. They'll go without a huddle.
They're going to get the tempo in coming off the boundary. That's what these teams like to do. They're going to get everything signaled in, and they're going to be able to slow down or speed up the tempo coming off the boundary with the signal.
So the ball at the 43, 2nd down and 6. Give it away inside. King Young on the carry and nothing doing as a host of white shirts were in there to meet him. It'll be no gain on the play, and it's going to be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, the safety, Matthew Escher, came up from his safety position to come up and clean everything up. And
Escher's coming off a huge game last week. Had a big interception in the final minute to help close that out. As mentioned, Sam Houston put more points on the board than anybody has done this year against D.D. White. Also had 7 tackles and a couple of pass breakups.
Yeah, well, look, you can look at it right there. That's a stout defensive line that St. James is going to have to block right there. That front 6 is solid.
Adam Talbot, 79, is the biggest guy on that front at 245 pounds. Roll the quarterback. Will make one man miss. Now try to get back to the edge on this side and gets run out of bounds, but I think he got to the sticks. Let's wait for the spot. Williams showing you his legs right there. Tried to roll left, nothing really doing. Got some pressure and see him escape one tackler and then try to get to the edge here and get the first down.
Yeah, that was Luke Trotty he escaped from. Luke thought he had him dead to rights, then all of a sudden Williams, like you said, using his legs, then he just does a little hoop-de-hoop around him and then gets over there and looks like he got the first down. They gave him the spot.
Yeah, it looks like the chains got tangled up along the way too. Looks like they've got that resolved now. So put it at the 37. This will be the 6th play of the opening drive. Just underway here from Vacherie. Again, the District 8 3A title on the line. Rivalry implications, seeding implications. As we were mentioning, we will get deep into the whole playoff seeding at halftime. We'll run it all down for you going into tonight. The top 16 as they stand in all 8 divisions. 4 select and 4 non-select. Give you all of the lowdown of what to watch for here tonight. Fake the jet sweep, and now they'll look to run. And this is an RPO. What an interesting look there, Wade. I'll let you get into that as that's going to go for a first down to Trenton Esther. This looked run all the way with the quarterback, and he pulled up and threw the football, but do we have an eligible man downfield? We got whistles.
Yes, you do. You will see it at the top of your screen right up there. I think it was number 65, Andre Mahler. Look, that was supposed to be quarterback draw, right? Okay, here's our call. Ineligible downfield. I think they got 65, Andre Mahler, the junior guard, was wrapping around to get up to the linebacker. The box by E.D. White was a 5-man box, Lynn, right? So that reads to every offensive coordinator in America, even though you're empty, my quarterback can run. I'm going to run the football. So they tried to run quarterback draw. Everything was banged up and tightened up inside by the E.D. White defensive line, and that made Williams kind of scatter out of there. What does he do? Makes a nice athletic play and gets it into the hands of one of his receivers that's in a scramble drill for a pickup, but it's all coming back because of the illegal man downfield.
Play action. And what an athletic play right there just to keep the play alive. And still on his feet is the running back, King Young, who will end up losing 2, but Braden Williams avoided about an 8-yard loss on that play. Probably the thing to do for Connie King Young right there. The heady thing to do would have been just drop the football here as he was about to go down. Great pressure by M.J. Sternfels, the junior linebacker. Dodges 3 different guys there, this King Young, and finally goes down for a loss of 2 on a play.
That's athletic, right? I mean, what a play by Williams. Heads up, eyes downfield, doesn't panic, gets it into the hands of someone that can help him out.
Now pass far side, caught. Room to run down the sideline, 30, 25-20, 15-10, 5, touchdown, Kobe Brown. 44 yards, and St. James strikes first.
I said in the pregame show, Kobe Brown doesn't have to go vertical to get his yards, right? All you got to do is run bubble screens, tunnel screens. That was a wide receiver tunnel screen. Watch him catch it, get behind the offensive line. And 1 missed tackle.
That's all you need.
2 missed tackle, and he's off to the races, and it's all over.
Yeah. Trotty had a little bit of a hand on him. Nobody else got close to him. He just ran away. 7 plays, 80 yards. It took 3:17 off the clock. 44 yards on the catch and run by Kobe Brown. And King Young also handles the kicking duties. He's on to try the extra point, and it is no good, wide left. So your score with 8:43 remaining in this opening quarter. It's St. James 6 and E.D. White nothing. Gives us a chance to remind you that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln-backed black label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. Must be a reason.
Must be a reason.
Wade, what did you see from both sides there on that opening drive?
Well, what I saw is a ton of speed out of the guys in the black jerseys, right? St. James, I said coming in that there's speed all over the place out there by the Wildcats. E.D. White trying to stay in a four-man front, trying to stay in a six-man box. St. James spreading their defense out and making E.D. White and forcing them into a five-man box, which gives them really good run numbers. But here's the deal. Even with a five-man box, St. James is still trying to get the ball into their wide receivers' hands out on the flanks and letting them make plays, and those guys can make plays. So E.D. White will go off the field. They'll make some adjustments, I'm sure. It wouldn't surprise me at all if E.D. White comes back defensively next time with a different package, some sort of 3-4 type of look to be able to get more guys out there in coverage and on the flank and still hold up strong against the run inside. You know, today with all these spread offenses and all the speed that's around there, you're going to have to be a multiple defense. Just sitting in four-man fronts is a thing of the past. You've got to be multiple.
So kick is away to about the 13-yard line. Coming across the field looking to get something going there. That was Nate Thompson, the junior free safety on the return. Gets it out to about the 28-yard line, and that's where E.D. White will begin its opening offensive possession of the night. Jake Sternfels, the 5'10", 170-pound senior, engineers this offense. He's a 67% passer, but he's only thrown it 74 times in 9 games. It's an average of about 8 attempts a game. 943 yards on the season. He's also run it for 322 yards and 10 touchdowns. He will keep it on first down, make a couple of men miss, and get out past the sticks for a first down. Gain of 10 on this opening run by Sternfels, and you're seeing
all right,
those.
So here we go. Without me being redundant all night, ladies and gentlemen, inside veer, outside veer. You've got 3 options, right? You've got a dive, you've got a quarterback read, and you've got a quarterback pitch. That's why they call it triple option football. You'll get it out of different formations from E.D. White. Right there was nice inside veer with a nice pull and keep by Sternfeld.
Run it straight ahead this time. That
veer teams or triple option teams want to establish an inside running game first with their fullback, Carter Douglas. Watch right here. They run belly, and they give the ball to Carter Douglas 4 yards deep in the backfield. He reads the block of the tackle and makes the cut off the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
gain of 6, 2nd and 4. The ball at the 44-yard line, opening possession offensively for E.D. White. This is Andrew Dewey off the left side, and he will get the first down and then some in the St. James territory.
And that's buck sweep, that's wing T, so they're going to mix in a few wing T plays with their option game.
And somewhere up above, Rick Gailey is smiling.
Yes, he is.
It is. You know, this isn't his old field. This is a new stadium, but this is his old school, and the wing T is still out there. There's something he mastered in these parts for many years, and a lot of success against everybody, not just E.D. White, but he ran off a string, I believe, of 9 wins in a row over E.D. White at one point during his career.
It's about ball control. It's about crossing the white lines, keeping the ball within the sticks, moving the sticks for first downs.
Timeout St. James.
And, continue to make sure that you do not put the ball on the ground and have ball control all night and obviously come up with points. And obviously the goal is to get more points than your opponent, but it's how you do it. I told you that E.D. White is going to give you a ton of different looks. We've already seen 4 different formations to run 3 different plays. A belly, an option, and a wing T buck sweep.
They will get you. You're going to see the same basic thing, but out of a multitude of looks.
Right, and it's all going to be the same thing. It's going to give you the same looks. The rules are all the same for the offensive line, depending on the play they're running. And they're just going to get it to their three running backs in different ways. One thing to watch for is they want to establish the in-between-the-tackle running game with Carter Douglas, their fullback, 5'9", 175-pound sophomore. You've got to establish the run game between the tackles, and they will try to do that.
Now they'll bring the tight end Phillip Hillman in motion over to the other side to overload to the bottom of your screen. And they'll come this way, but it's well defended that time. St. James seeing some things and making some adjustments in the timeout there. Ben Guidry, the junior on the carry, 223 rushing yards on the year, gets a couple there.
Yeah, Trey Williams got off the down block, number 55, defensive lineman, did a nice job with a little spin move, getting out there into the hole to bring down the running back.
2nd and 8. Well, that's one thing you see. They fake that motion around, then they're going to stop it.
And I'll tell you why in a minute that option teams do those sort of things. I'll give you the heads up on that so our viewers out there will know what they're looking at.
And now we have movement before this one can get underway. And I believe it's going to be offside against St. James. It is. A little bit too quick on the trigger that time.
Okay, so when you're going to run at one of those wingbacks or halfbacks is going to start motion and stop and then go back and realign themselves, that is giving the coaching staff a view of how the secondary is playing the backfield part of the defense. Are they playing it in man? Are they rotating and trying to invert a safety down with the motion to try to get an extra man to the side where the motion is going? Is it zone coverage and nobody is moving? That answers questions to the offensive coordinator to know how to attack that defense.
This time, a little cross action with Ben Rodrigue on the carry, and he gets about a yard. Rodrigue leads this team in rushing, 589 yards, averages 12.8 a carry, Wade. More than a first down every time he touches the football.
Well, if you've got your wingbacks in this type of offense making that type of yardage, that means they're running all the counter plays real good, and that was a counter tackle trap that time that I'm sure he's popped in the past few weeks.
We've seen 5 rushes thus far by 5 different players.
Well, you spread it around. That's the idea. You got to be able to spread the ball around and get it into the hands of your guys.
3rd and 2. First 3rd down of this opening series. Give it away. No, didn't give it away up the middle. He faked it and basically followed that time. Sternfels will get the first down. Gain of about 6. What did you see there, Wade? Was that design, or is that something that he didn't have something else and just said, you know what, I'm going right back inside?
That's Sternfels on the read. Everything was in my opinion, was a give call, but he decided to disconnect. And he decided he saw an opening right off his right shoulder and decided to take it. That is just pure, I guess you would say, feeling the play.
Sternfels will keep it again this time, get it out to about the 30-yard line. That's the thing here. 4 yards on first down. Look, that is in this offense, that is huge. You watch the academies played. You and I have done that, quite a bit. You get 4 yards on first down, you're on schedule. You could do whatever you want to do.
Well, 4, how about 3.5? 3.5, 3 first down, right? So option quarterbacks, they're born that way, right? They feel it. And they do it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and they feel the pitch, right? They feel when they need to disconnect and keep. They're reading everything, but it's also a gut feeling, and I've always felt like that those guys were born with an innate ability. Here's a good look at Sternfels again.
Yeah.
There's the read, there's the pull and disconnect.
Now
great read right there, but great job by this St. James secondary.
Yeah,
you attack the pitch from the secondary, and that was number...
That was 29. That was Ty Blaine, who is just a freshman and getting a chance to start. Right. You don't see many freshmen start in this neck of the woods. 3rd and 7. Pass Passing on third down, incomplete. Intended for Paxton Lafont, who we talked about earlier. First pass of the game goes in his direction, and it's incomplete. Now it's decision time for Kyle Lassang.
Yeah, huge mismatch out there with Paxton Lafont and the St. James defender, right? You would have thought it would have been a little bit better 50-50 ball for him to go up and try to attack with his height and his size. Ball was way off target.
Play clock's at 15. Offense staying on the field here, kind of no man's land. 4th and 7 at the 31. Man in motion. Pass down the middle, incomplete, intended for Lafont. It was high, and St. James is going to take over on downs after the 4th down stop. That's a big sequence after the timeout. Levante Davis wanted to kind of get his team on the right page. Yeah, they had the offside penalty in there that made it 2nd and short, but then they came up with some good plays. Where they gave up one first down and then got the 4th down stop after that.
Yeah, Eddie White trying to sneak Lafont in behind the linebackers and in front of the safeties, right? Great job by those St. James linebackers just dropping underneath that square end. That was Nolan Zenon and Jai Blaine and DeAndre Vido. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And but all three of those linebackers were right under the square end, took Paxton away.
So you got a bunch to the bottom of your screen with 3 receivers. They'll go to the back man, Brown, and no surprise for the E.D. White defense this time. They were waiting for that one. He might have gotten about 2 on that.
Yes, Zach Trish all over it, right? Coming up from his strong safety position. Avoiding all the blockers and making a hit for the loss.
Gain of 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gain of 2. Yeah, he still managed 2 out of it. 3rd catch already tonight for Brown. He's got 60 yards. Williams 6 for 6 to start this game for 86 yards. Right back to Brown. That's a lot of cushion out there that he's getting from Luke Zarang, the corner. Ended up being a gain of 6 on the play. It's 3rd and 2, but that's just pitch and catch out there. You see at the bottom of your screen the cushion he's getting. That's just a basic read between quarterback and receiver, right, Wade?
Yeah, cushion alignment, everything, just giving a lot of room. Take what they're giving you, push your route, break your route off, ball's delivered on time. It's like stealing.
3rd and 2 at the 39. Play action. Pass is caught, but there is nowhere to go as that was blown up in the backfield. Credit to that E.D. White defense led by Jax Trish, the strong safety, the junior, who got in there and kept anything from happening here in this little quick pass to Villanueva. Loss of 5.
Yeah, backwards pass, and they're trying to set up a little screen out there, and Jack Trish just reads it and comes underneath all the blockers and making a great play, and it's going to force St. James into a punting situation.
That'll be 4th and 7 at the 34. And fair catch is called for at the 37. That was by Ben Guidry. And that is where E.D. White will take over with 2:32 to play here in the first quarter, trailing this one by the count of 6-0. What kind of adjustments did you see from St. James there in the latter half of that opening drive?
Well, still they were attacking everything the same way. What the answer is, E.D. White made a slight adjustment in their box. Remember I said that they were going to go over and make an adjustment to try to still be able to stop the run with a 5 or 6-man box with a little bit different front. They made a slight adjustment in their front, and they were able to get themselves loosened up a little bit better out on the flanks, and that allowed Jax to be able, from his strong safety position, Jack Trish, to make a few plays.
So a gain of 1 on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 9. pitch on the outside, and that is well defended right there. And a nice job by Christian Turley, the junior, to get Rodrigue on the perimeter. Turley up from his defensive back spot.
Yeah, trap option, right? Here we go. Watch Turley coming from his safety position. Whack. Nice job coming down and filling the alley. That's the way you want your defensive backs, filling the alley versus the pitch from inside out in the alley and then wrapping up.
So it's 3rd down and 8. Got to make it to the 48-yard line. Sternfels rolling, passing, caught. Paxton LaFont targeted him 3 times. His first catch tonight, gain of 11 on a 1st down.
Well, he breaks his route off, and he does a nice job. He's really pushing his stem on the route. Nice stop route right at the stick, and then the ball is delivered on time. That's what he does well. He gets your defensive back that is covering him off balance, and then he stops his big body and he plays basketball. Shields himself to the ball. If the ball's on time, it should be, an easy reception.
32nd catch of the year for LaFont, the 6'4", 200-pound senior. Now everybody in tight here. And we got whistles, timeout, E.D. White. They were up to something here, Wade. You had 56 Foster Porsche's offensive lineman lined up as a slot receiver right there. So I think something was up, but they didn't like either the defensive look that they got from it, or maybe they weren't on the same page offensively. And Kyle was saying calls his first time out of the half.
Well, the first thing they did, they came out in double tight ends, double wings, and they took 56, lined him up at a wing. So, from that formation, anytime that you got your wing, and wherever you put your other halfback, whether it's in the wing or in the backfield, and the fullback is still behind the center, you can run your full offense, right? Again, you can do all of the things you want in your offense out of multiple different formations, and here is the look again. You've got double tight.
Well, now you've got a receiver out to one side.
Right. So that's end over up top. See, end over up top, tight end over up top. Unbalanced line.
And well defended is big-time pressure from the edge by St. James. That's DeAndre Vito, the senior. 6 tackle for loss on the year. Loss of 4 on the play.
His responsibility as a defensive player on an option play as a linebacker is to scrape and take the quarterback, and watch Vito right here do a nice job. He sits there, he waits. Here comes the quarterback. He's my responsibility. Take my responsibility only, play my responsibility only, make a nice tackle. Great play, Vito.
Now they'll toss it to Rodrigue, who had reset himself after faking the motion, gets it back into the St. James side of the field to about the 46-yard line, a gain of 7.
The way you defend option and the way you defend this type of offense is you've got to play assignment football.
And that's different from what you do every other week of the year. Talk about how you coach that to prepare for this. Yeah.
And 1 week it's hard because you can't emulate it in practice, right? So you've got a scout team that's trying to emulate option and wing T football and all of the things that your opponent's going to be doing, and it just doesn't give you the same look.
That's the end of the first quarter. Your score, St. James 6, E.D. White nothing in this showdown for the District 8 3A championship. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
They're running a 69 go route. 3 to number 2. 69 swirl go route, out route 2. Slant. Frosty Blizzard to number 2. Frosty Blizzard to number 2.
Slant, post.
Slant, Blizzard. You're running a Frosty swirl, slant post to number 2. Frosty swirl, slant post to number 2. Why would you call a timeout? Hey.
Start of the second quarter, we switch directions. E.D. White now moving right to left on a big 3rd and 7 coming up at the St. James 46-yard line. Sternfeld's pass down the seam, incomplete, and a shot at the end of the play, and there are flags everywhere. Well, that was Jarrell Williams delivering the blow, the junior DB. He's got 6 interceptions on the year, but he's going to get flagged for unnecessary roughness here. You know, a defenseless receiver coming down the middle right there, and personal foul, 15-yard penalty. You get another look, Wade.
Okay. The personal foul is one thing. Got it? But that's all over Jake Sternfield. You cannot hold that football when you're running a receiver past 12 yards down a seam right into a free safety coming up to lay you out. Okay? Ben Guidry's got to come off the field and tell Sternfield that ball's got to be there sooner. I'm telling you, when Sternfield comes off the boundary and he talks to his coaches are going to say, you can't do that. You can't lead him in a seam route into a safety. Federation rules have changed for the safety of players. The personal foul will be called when a defenseless receiver is lit up like that. But the ball's got to be delivered on time. Sternfield's held onto the ball and led his receiver into that.
Still on his feet there is Sternfeld's out past the 20-yard line to about the 19. Andrew Dewey, let's get another look at this if we can from our producer Chip Merritt. Watch Dewey in the backfield. He's selling the whole idea. Yeah, I got the pitch back here. And nope, Sternfeld's is running for a gain of 12.
Well, they're loading that option, right? They're trying to block somebody that has the quarterback, so that's going to be an automatic disconnect from the fullback. Everything collapses, he pulls. They block the guy that's got quarterback, and he's off to the races. Again, they do the same thing.
That'll get a couple on first down.
You know, running option football, running wing tee football, like I say every time we're covering a team that does this, especially we've, covered John Curtis for many, many, many years, right? It's like Novocaine. It just kind of lulls you and then lulls you and lulls you, and you just keep crossing the right lines and you keep moving the sticks until all of a sudden you're in the end zone, or you pop one that goes a decent distance for a touchdown. You just can't go to sleep as a defense. You've got to be sound in your assignments.
And we'll get out to about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, the old quarterback sneak, quarterback goose, tush push, whatever you want to call it.
Relying a lot here.
Right.
Now, Sternfeld's came in having run it 55 times, which is more than any of his backs, but he's already run it, 7 times here in the first 2 series of this game.
Well, it's what the option's given him, Lenny. If it's what he's given, he's going to take it.
Now in motion, they'll run the toss this time to Dewey, trying to get to the edge, cuts it back inside. He's got the first down. It'll be 1st and goal, E.D. White at the 7-yard line.
They're trying to make that toss way outside the tackle box. See if you can see it. See how wide and long that toss is. That isn't just your regular old toss sweep from the eye, the USC toss, right? This is
student body right.
No, this is a toss that they're trying to toss out past the tackle box, way out there, so they can quickly get on the flank and outflank the defense.
So from the 7, quarterback's going to keep. There's penetration. Tons of black shirts in the backfield and nothing doing that time for Sternfeld's. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Trey Williams pinched that time down inside hard. That should have been a fast disconnect. Here he comes, bang. He took the first threat. That's his job. First threat as a defensive lineman. First defensive lineman passed the ball to tackle the dive back or the first threat. He did a great job. Trey Williams, big senior.
Williams 55. 10 tackles for loss, a couple of sacks this year. On the handoff, breaking a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Andrew Dewey. Or check that, that's 6. That's Carter Douglas, not 5. Douglas, the sophomore, with his 6th rushing touchdown of the year.
Yeah, that's all Douglas, Lenny. He does a nice job. They're running trap. Watch the guard pull right there. They get the trap block. It's all crammed up. Nice job by Trey Williams cramming that up right there. What happens? Carter Douglas keeps his eyes up, bounces his trap a little bit over to the B gap, and walks into the end zone for E.D. White's first score of the night.
That was 11 plays, 62 yards, taking 5.5 minutes. And the kick is no good, so we remain tied at 6. They did signal no good, correct? Let's check this. Hang on. I thought the referee signaled no good. And indeed, it is 6-6. So a 5.5 minute drive ties the game, but they missed the extra point with the chance to take the lead. Gives us a chance to tell you about tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports, which is brought to you by Rhino Shield Mid-South. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by a 25-year warranty. Get your free estimate. Visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com. That's rhinoshieldmidsouth.com, or call 833-233-7181. It's 833-233-7181. So obviously we saw some adjustments second time around from E.D. White with the football. Some big third down, the big third down pass play for 11 yards. They got the pass interference call, which is probably the biggest play, though not a play, that extended that drive and allowed it to end up with a touchdown. Ground ball will roll out of bounds at about the 7-yard line, so E.D. White will give up some field position right here, and St. James is going to likely choose to begin at the 35.
Well, E.D. White got exactly what they wanted out of that particular drive. They ate clock. They came away with points. They had some third down conversions, which is what they wanted. They got a flag that helped them.
And so far, that's big. Like St. James thus far has been flagged 4 times for 30 yards.
Right, so if there's a script that they could have written on that particular series, that was the way they wanted to take place.
On first down, try to run it inside that time, and not much real estate for Connie King Young. That's one thing this E.D. White defense thus far has done. They've done a pretty good job of trying to make St. James one-dimensional. They've stopped the run.
Well, E.D. White back into their 4-man front, right? And it's hard to run against that front 6 of E.D. White. They're not going to be able to do that on a consistent basis. Their game, their MO is get the ball out there on the flank to their speedy guys, try to out-leverage that E.D. White defensive front, and get the ball out there real fast. And, hey, let's make some athletic plays out there when we have the ball in our hands.
2 wide receivers to either side. Williams stepping up, firing long. Pass is incomplete, just out of the reach of Jakias Villanueva, and it's 3rd and 9.
All receivers go vertical, and they all went vertical, and they went deep. Problem is they ran into a too-deep secondary, so when you've got 2 safeties deep like that, no way should a receiver get on top of you. E.D. White plays it well. They turn and run at the right time, and everything's covered up. You can see the verticals are all covered. Even though if that ball would have been dropped on a dime right there, St. James would have had a shot at it. The receiver would have had a shot.
Pass is incomplete. Far side intended for Trenton Esther, and it'll be 4th and 9. So after a perfect start, 8 for 8, back-to-back incompletions for Braden Williams, and it's going to be 3 and out for this E.D. White defense.
Well, it's another 3 and out for E.D. White's defense, and what they want to be able to do now is to control the football offensively, say for a nice 5-minute drive, and come away with some points, right? They got the 3 and out. The defense held up. They held up against a couple of long passes, the vertical passes, and now they want to be able to control the clock again with a nice long drive.
Punt on the way. And a good kick, and it's bobbled, and it's still on the ground, and finally fallen on at about the 30-yard line, and I believe E.D. White maintains possession here. Good kick there from Connie King Young.
Yeah, you got to catch the football. That was number 24, Nate Thompson. Went right through his arms. He's lucky he got back on that because those guys from St. James, they're all over that, covering that punt. That could have been disastrous for Edie White.
So Edie White taking over at the 30 and well defended by St. James on first down as Sternfels looks to keep it.
Nick Chopin, defensive lineman senior, comes in with 34 tackles on the season, does a nice job staying home right there, taking the quarterback on his option responsibility.
34 yards rushing on 8 carries thus far for the quarterback Sternfels. Pitches it this time. He's got Due on the perimeter with room to run out past the 40 to about the 43-yard line, but
okay, you know I'm going to have to say it. That pops out there on the perimeter. Why, Lenny? Look at the blocking by the 2 receivers out on the perimeter. Take a great look at this at home. Blocking right there, blocking right there. Hands nicely placed. Great job. 38. That is Ben Rodrigue, and that was Paxton Lafont, number 2, the good wide receiver out there blocking. He can block. He can catch. You can tell Edie White spends a lot of time on blocking on the perimeter.
pitch it, got room to run outside. Out past the 40, 35-30, 25, tripped up at the 20-yard line. A big play that time, and I believe that was Rodrigue on the carry.
Hey, Sternfels, that's all him. Watch him make the right read. He's going to read it, and then he's going to option it. There's your read. That's a disconnect. Quarterback pitch. Boom. Right there. Great block out there. That was number 40 blocking the edge. Michael Tinney doing a nice job. And then he split the corner and the safety for a nice pickup. First down. Edie White's back in business again.
So now at the 20, approaching the red zone here, Edie White with an opportunity to perhaps take the lead. The toss this time, that is Ben Guidry on the carry, the junior, getting about 6.
You know, if you're a fan of this type of offense, which is, you know, a lot of people equate it to the academies these days, Edie White does a great job running it, and you need to try to come watch them run their offense.
It's a keeper by Sternfels, makes one man miss and gets to the 4-yard line.
St. James a little disheveled right now. They're looking around. They're not taking their assignments.
And this is a good timeout right here.
Right, and it's a good time
by Levante Davis. We saw that on the first drive. They went bang, bang, bang on 3 straight plays. He knows right now he's got to settle down his defense and see if they come up with a goal line stand of some kind.
Well, what he's telling them right now is let's remember our assignments and let's make sure that we're going to be assignment sound. Right? Let's stop. Like I said, they were looking a little disheveled right there in the past 2 plays. They're all over the place, right? They're not taking their proper assignments. Their alignments might have been a little bit off, so that is all getting straightened out right now in a timeout. And like you said, Lenny, it's a good time for a timeout.
Reminder, coming up at halftime, Wade, we will dive deep into those power rankings. We'll take you through all 8 divisions, 4 select, 4 non-select, and look at how things shake out with those brackets getting ready to come out on Sunday. And then, of course, after that, we'll take a whip around the state and get you some key scores. A lot of big games going on in the New Orleans area tonight, including this one here. How about John Curtis tonight? Going for 6:22 for JT Curtis. They have jumped out to a 21-0 lead over Edna Carr in the second quarter.
Well, that's an outstanding football game going on in the city, and you know all the things that have been going on this week around. They're focused. Carr usually can turn the gas on when they want to, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out towards the end, right?
That thing works too good.
And he's in for the touchdown. Carter Douglas for the second time tonight, and E.D. White has the lead.
Hard dive off the veer, nobody there. Nobody took the right responsibility from St. James. Watch him walk into the end zone. Excellent blocking up front. There it is. Everything's walled off and down. He runs an outside veer path, which is on the outside hip of the tackle, and he just walks into the end zone.
This kick is good, and so with 5:11 remaining in the first half, your new score is E.D. White 13 and St. James 6. That drives 7 plays, 70 yards. It took 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
The only thing E.D. White didn't like about it is they wanted to take more time off the clock,
Yeah, I guess, right, exactly.
It doesn't work like that, but the number of plays that they ran, all of that was according to their schedule. They would have liked to take another 2 minutes off the clock.
You mentioned some of those big games. Let's take just a snapshot glance at some of those. There's a big one also going on here in the River Parishes tonight down at Thomas Dupuy Stadium, Frank Monica Field in Laplace. Second quarter, St. Charles Catholic leads Newman 7-0. Both of those teams undefeated. They will both be in the top 3 in the Division III select bracket. We mentioned that Curtis Carr's score. Shaw leads Karen Crow 21-13 second quarter. That's got some serious PowerPoint ramifications in both Division I and Division II select, although it is a non-district game. Kickoff taken at about the 10-yard line. Looking for room to run. Gets it out near the 30-yard line. That was, I believe that was Johnny Lawrence on the return that time.
Hit that big red button.
I'd like to see St. James get back to what they were doing in their first series, trying to out-leverage the E.D. White defense by getting those receivers there into the flats, running the screens that they need to set up, getting the ball into the hand of their playmakers.
Check it, by the way. That was 36, Kendrick Joseph. Some of those numbers, they start crunching up. You got a hard time reading them. 3s look like 8s.
Oh, I thought it was just our age, buddy.
Well, that too. Pass caught. First down and then some. Gain of about 15. As that was Connie King Young on the catch. But check that, 23, not 21. That's Villanueva on the catch.
Villanueva on the flat. We saw this in
They'll
the
use him
very
in a
first
lot of different
drive.
ways, yeah.
Right, but they're going back to what was successful for them in the first drive. Let's get the ball out of our hands quick and into our playmakers' hands out there in the flat.
Quarterback on the move, trying to get to the edge. He will slide at the 50. Here comes a flag. He slid before the tackle came from Escher, and that's going to be a late hit. You're giving yourself up. And I know that's a tough call. It's a tough play for the defender to make at full speed. And we'll get another look at it there, but it still cost you 15.
Yeah, Escher came in as he was giving himself up. There should have been no way that he continued at full speed and lowered his shoulder into him. That's on Escher right there. Let's take another look. Gives himself up, whack. Also, his head was down. He was lucky he didn't hit helmet to helmet with him, and it could have been a little bit more severe. Again, Williams using his legs. Good to see.
Now Brown on the catch. Get about 7 on first down.
Yeah, again, taking what's there. Little quick out. Ball's delivered on time.
So it's 2nd and 3. The ball was at the 28-yard line. St. James showing a little tempo right now. They got trips to the top of the screen. Quarterback will keep it. Well defended that time by E.D. White. Did the ball come out at the end of the play? And if so, it's still alive. And look at this craziness. Still on his feet. Down to the 10-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and goal as Jakias Villanueva picked up the loose football and just kept going with it and turned something into nothing right there. Let's take a look at this whole thing unfold, Wade.
Was it a loose football or was it a toss at the last second? Really can't tell. It might have been a toss or a lateral at the last second by Williams. Or the ball could have been popped out of his hands like you said. I don't think we will ever know what really happened on that Christmas night, right?
Yeah. give it away on first down. It's a new back in the game. Cameron LeBlanc has got 494 yards and 7 touchdowns on the year. Carries that time to about the 6-yard line.
Yeah, it's the first time they've really made a little progress running that inside zone in between the tackles. Nice blocking up front, especially by big number 75, Jermaine Mitchell, who we looked at before the game.
Look at him at right tackle down there at the bottom or the.
That is one big
screen.
man. One big man.
Right side of the formation. 6'8", over 300 pounds. He is enormous. This is quarterback run all the way. And into the end zone for a touchdown is Braden Williams. And St. James comes up with a big answer. They're an extra point away from tying it.
Now, that's the St. James that we saw right at the beginning in the very first drive, right? Getting the ball into their playmakers' hands as quickly as possible, letting Braden Williams use his feet to be able to run the football, mix in a little inside zone here and there, and then you walk into the end zone. Boy, I tell you what, Braden Williams broke Taylor Thibodeau's ankles on a move right there at about the 3-yard line. Taylor Thibodeau had just dust to look at.
And that didn't take long. It took less than 2 minutes to get down the field. And the kick was blocked. That was just a messed up operation from the beginning. So E.D. White will keep the lead by 1 point here, 13-12, with 3:15 remaining after a 6-play, 70-yard drive that took 1 minute and 56 seconds.
Well, you can see the difference between the styles of offenses, right? You can see the difference between the MO of both offenses. E.D. White trying just to pound it, ground it, eat up clock, move the chains. St. James is electrifying, especially when they're getting leverage on the defenders, getting the ball out quick, letting Braden Williams use his feet and his athleticism. It only takes a minute, and what did you say? Minute
56 seconds.
56 seconds to put the ball in the end zone.
So now, St. James's defense is going to get back on the field, and they need to stop in a big way here.
Well, they've got to prove to themselves that they can make a stop on this offense, right? It's something that they've got to prove to themselves that they can do.
Return will come out to about the 25-yard line.
You know, all the adjustments have been made. They know their assignments. They know their alignments. Now they've got to prove to themselves that they can take care of the assignments.
Do remember this as well. E.D. White won the toss deferred, so they are going to get the football to start the third quarter. If they could put together one of those drives and get down the field and get points here right before the half, they're going to turn around and get the ball right back at the start of the third quarter.
That's
with a chance to stretch this out. If you don't come up, that's the importance of coming up with a stop right here.
Right, that's what's key on E.D. White's mind right now.
That long toss sweep once again, and getting to the edge is Rodrigue. He will get about 9 on the play, just short of the first down.
The proper terminology football-wise for that is jet toss. So you can see out here, well, look at this. You see how wide that toss is given everybody? You can see that way out there on the tackle's edge. When you can get the ball out into your back's hands that wide, then you can get your blockers out there real quick. You don't have to block the guys that are on the inside of the formation of the defense.
And on the run, out past the 50, out near the 40-yard line. Second catch of the night for LaFont.
Yeah, wide open. In a drag right behind the linebackers. You can see him set up the strong safety right there. Kind of works into a soft spot behind the strong safety and the free safety. Wide open balls delivered. Nice pitch and catch.
Rodrigue will be dragged down after a gain of about 3. Second and, I'm checking, it's a gain of 2. Second down and 8, the ball at the 38-yard line as the clock approaches 2 minutes here in the first half.
Ken, Edie White needs to be using that 40-second clock and try to run as much down as they possibly can.
Rodrigue now with 56 yards rushing. That will be near the first down, but a couple of yards short on the carry that time by Douglas, who got about 6.
Edie White sitting with 2 timeouts. They can do anything basically that their play sheet calls.
And they're showing tempo, which is not something they do a lot of. That'll be a first down.
Come on, y'all, man. You can make some noise.
Douglas gets 4 on the play.
Yeah, now they slowed it down a little bit. They're trying to use a little bit of that clock, getting that signal in.
This is a quarterback draw. Well designed and stood up. Wow, what a hit that time from Jarrell Williams.
Nice tackle, huh? Jarrell Williams, nice job.
Get another look here at the end of this one. Well-designed play, first of all, and then here comes Williams right here, and hello.
Nice tackle.
2nd and 1. Oh, we got movement up front. Who moved first?
I think you're going to have illegal procedure on Edie White.
So 2nd and 1 turns into 2nd and 6 as the clock is ticked under a minute. That's potentially a big call right there.
Yeah, that hurts. Those are things you want to stay away from as that clock's ticking down and in what could be the final drive of the half.
Clock winds. And whistles and time out St. James. This is their last time out of the half. So
yeah, they're done, and I unless they saw something they didn't like, they saw some sort of maybe personnel issue that they were having to take that time out right there.
So what are both coaches talking about in these huddles right now?
Edie White's saying we can't jump off sides, people. Here's our play. Know your assignments. This is what we expect them to come out in this situation. Here's the play. Get back to the line of scrimmage. We got plenty enough time. Get our play in, but we have got to make sure that we don't have any type of penalty and obviously don't fumble the ball. St. James, whatever it is that they saw that made them call the timeout, they just cleaned it up just now. They got their personnel right. They got their call in right. They made sure their communication was right. You know, you don't want them going out there thinking about too much stuff. Oh, by the way, last thing, play assignment football. You know what your assignment is. Take care of your assignment. And they came out with 12 on the field. They had to hustle somebody off. That's not good right after a timeout.
Quarterback draw once again. And first down this time as Sternfels dives forward to about the 15-yard line.
And clock stops
really
to move the chains.
Yeah, haven't really had an answer for that play. Sternfels is rushed for 62 yards here. And that was Guidry that time out to, let's see where they'll spot the football at about the 12-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like he ran out of bounds about the 12. Nice, simple toss sweep right there. Again, jet toss. Very well coached. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
That's when you use that perimeter like Edie White does on occasion. It certainly helps things. 38 seconds to play in the half. Quarterback keeper got room to run. And they'll give him the first down at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal. You don't need to move the sticks now. You lay them down.
That's midline option. That's design quarterback run.
And well defended right there. by St. James. Stop them short of the goal line. And timeout is going to be called by E.D. White as they've got the football at the 1 yard line, 2nd and goal with 20 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, 2 plays ago. That's the first midline option I've seen tonight. It's in every arsenal of every option team. Inside veer, outside veer, and midline option. What that does is just brings the ball in a little bit closer. That right there is fullback belly. He gave the fullback the ball on a belly type blocking up front for a nice pickup. A lot of things that you see in the arsenal of these type of teams are the same things that if you were going to watch Navy, Air Force, Army over the past few years are running the same thing in the same type of playbook. A lot of time for E.D. White with one more timeout.
You got timeout.
Yeah,
a timeout in your hip pocket.
Right. You got a timeout in the hip pocket. They want to run the ball a couple of times. They can.
Quarterback sneak. Did he get in? E.D. White thinks they did. St. James is holding the football. No signal anywhere yet.
Okay, that's interesting.
Did they call touchdown?
I did not see a signal. No indication from our crew from Thibodeau.
Let's get another look at it.
The old tush push. Heard no whistle. And no signal. Coach Lasan is going out there to try to get some sort of explanation. The crew is huddling up to talk about it. They can't go under a hood, and they can't pull out of a
And we've look, our angles here. We don't have a camera sitting on the goal line, okay? They're putting the ball down at about the 1 foot line. Timeout E.D. White is the signal, so it's going to be 3rd and goal.
And now, E.D. White's last goal, timeout.
And here's the thing. You just mentioned it. They're down to 1 timeout, so in reality, you've either got one player, you got to throw the football here. You can't run a... maybe you can line up and try to run a 4th down play with the same personnel, but again, you're talking about trying to unpile. If you come up short, you got. If you want to have 2 shots here, you got to throw the football.
Well, if you're going to throw the football, you could have something, and I like for them to get Sternfield's out on the edge where he has the option to run the football or pass the football, right? So it's going to be interesting here. Number one, look at the formation. You can see the formation is trying to take people out of the box, so that's one thing they're going to do. Yeah, don't be surprised if they run the football here.
3 receivers to the top of your screen.
Right, they're trying to pull people out of the box with man coverage, which they have. It's left a lighter box.
Might be quarterback sneak right here. Huh? Or you roll it, and now you cut it back inside, and he stops short of the end zone. Wait, E.D. White says they got in. Have you seen a signal? Yes, touchdown. That looked like he was short initially, but now the referee is signaling touchdown.
Let's take a look at our replay. I said one of the options would be to roll out and throw the football. Watch Sternfield decide to tuck it up. He sees something open right there. Great job by St. James. Wow, I can't see the ball.
You can't see where the ball was. Maybe he reached it across the goal line. But,
wow. Again, we don't have the camera shot to be able to tell.
We don't have
his body was a complete body length before the goal line. So the only thing he could have done was reach the ball out to break the plane.
There's a 12-play drive that took all but 8 seconds of the remainder of this half. 3:07, covered 74 yards. Kick on the way is good. So with 8 seconds left in the half, your new score, E.D. White 20, St. James 12. Go back to the point I brought up when this drive started, Wade. E.D. White gets the ball to start the second half. Now you've got that golden opportunity to be able to double up right here and create some separation.
Well, again, the script works out, right? They run all the clock off, all the time off the clock, and then they end up scoring on this play right here by Sternfields. Let's be the judge again. I see a body down. I see an elbow down. I don't know how he reached that ball out to that goal line, unless he did it with his right hand, because his left elbow was down on the ground. from our view. But again, I'm not down there right on the field, and we didn't have an angle with the cameras, so.
Yeah, our two cameras are up above, both right near the 50-yard line.
As you would expect, all the St. James fans are extremely upset.
We hear a lot of people down in front of us who are not happy about it. And look, in a rivalry game, in a district championship game,
correct.
All the ramifications on this one, you understand.
They got drop pass out here that can do a better job.
All right.
We got one guy down here yelling. He's got some jokes, right?
And this kickoff will to the goal line, out to about the 20-yard line. And St. James will have 2 seconds to try to do something here, or perhaps just take a knee and go to the locker room. And it looks like they're going to line up in victory formation.
Well, E.D. White, has the best of both worlds. Now they get points going in, and they're going to have a chance to get the ball back and, of course, have a shot at points coming back out of the half, right? I mean, that was the key. It looked like a great tackle and was going to be a great stand by St. James. Little drama here in Vacherie tonight.
And there's your knee. And there's your halftime horn. So at the break, your score is E.D. White 20 and St. James 12. We mentioned it is the final Friday of the high school football season. We are less than 2 days away from the announcement of the playoff brackets in all 8 brackets. So working together with our partners at GoPreps.com, who keep up with power rankings better than anyone in the state of Louisiana, let's take a look at where we stand going into this final Friday of the regular season. On this final Friday night of the high school regular season in Louisiana, we're less than 48 hours away from the release of the playoff brackets. Let's take a dive into the power rankings in each of the 8 brackets and see how things may shape out come Sunday. We start on a non-select side. In Division 1, Destrehan, the defending state champion, is sitting in the number 4 spot and projects to be a top 4 seed. They would get a first-round bye. Things get crazy, though, as you dig down deeper for some of the New Orleans area schools. Chalmette, Salmon, Bellchase can all host first-round games. You've got teams like Ponchatoula who might move up into the top 16 with a victory tonight as they sit at number 17. Terrebonne is at 18. Similar scenario. Could they move up with a win tonight? You get down further towards the cut line of number 28. It's Thibodaux at 22. Mandeville is at 23. North Shore and South Lafourche at 26 and 27. Just outside the top 28, teams like Covington, Slidell, and Hahnville, could they all move in with a win Friday night? We shall see. As you look at Division 2, Lutcher, always a contender to win a state championship. They are sitting in the number 2 spot behind North DeSoto, whose season is over at 9-1. The Bulldogs are in good shape to get a first-round bye as well. Lakeshore at number 19, perhaps they can move into a host slot in the top 16 with a victory this evening. That will be one to watch. Another team that's right on the bubble is Franklinton at number 27. Again, in the non-select brackets, the top 28 teams make the playoffs. As we move on to Division 3, St. James in action here this evening on Crescent City Sports. They entered the night at number 3. And again, the top 4 in the non-select brackets get first-round byes. Bogalusa is just 4-4 in the year, but they have played a very tough schedule, maybe the toughest in this entire division, and they are sitting as a result at number 6. You look in that second column, Amite is always a contender for a state championship, and they are at number 9. They are a dangerous number 9 team right now. Just behind them, Jules Sumner at 10, St. Helena at number 12, and a lot to watch from that perspective as we head into bracket Sunday. As you look at Division 4, another team that is always a contender from Southeast Louisiana, playing under the tank, the Kentwood Kangaroos, currently at number 2 behind Logansport. Both of those teams finished their seasons on Thursday night, so that is pretty solid in terms of how they will be seated come Sunday. Kentwood at number 2 again would have a first-round bye. One team of area interest to watch, West St. John. They entered the night at number 30. Could they move in with a victory? As you switch to the select side, it gets very interesting. Holy Cross in Division 1, what a great season under first-year head coach Scott Watney. They wrapped up the regular season on Thursday night with a win over East St. John at Tad Gormley to go to 8-2. They have played a very difficult schedule, and right now, heading into Friday night, are number 1 in the power rankings. But Edna Carr sitting there at number 2. They are the Catholic League champions. They would jump Holy Cross to go to number 1 with a win tonight over John Curtis. Brother Martin at number 7 likely needs a win to move in or hold on to a top 8 seed. In the select side, there are 24 teams in the bracket, so the top 8 get first round buys. John Curtis at number 10 could move into that top 8 with a win on the West Bank against Carr this evening. And then you've got teams like John Ehret and Rummel that you see there in the bottom right corner of the screen. They're looking to hold on to top 16 seeds, which would mean first round home games for teams 9 through 16. Ehret played on Thursday night. Rummel is in action tonight at the Shrine on Airline against Jesuit. Jesuit is at 17 and could move into that top 16 with a victory. And then you've got teams like St. Augustine, Bonneville, Riverdale, and Higgins who could play their way in to the bracket with a win this evening, and they would be traveling in the first round. On to Division 2 select. E.D. White, of course, in action here tonight on Crescent City Sports. They came into the evening at number 3. The top 2 teams in Division 2 select, St. Thomas More, Lafayette Christian, they are facing off tonight in Lafayette in a blockbuster matchup, just like this E.D. White St. James game has been anticipated. John F. Kennedy, what a great story, finishing the regular season at 9-1, and they are poised to host in the second round, along with Archbishop Shaw, with a big non-district game going on this evening against Karen Crow on the West Bank. Shaw at number 6, of course, and Kennedy at number 4. And meanwhile, in that second column, McDonough 35 and De La Salle in position to host games in the opening round. De La Salle closing out its regular season last night with a win over Booker T. Washington to clinch that district championship. Booker T, along with Douglas and Landry, would be on the road in the first round. And then Archbishop Hannon has played a very difficult schedule. They have not won a game, but if they would find a way to get a win here in the regular season finale this evening, they could make their way into the playoffs because of that strength of schedule. We move into Division 3. You talk about blockbuster matchups. There's one going on just down the road in the River Parishes tonight in Laplace between Newman and St. Charles Catholic. You see them there at 2 and 3 behind Calvary Baptist. Those will be the top 3 teams in the bracket come Sunday. It's just a matter of how this all plays out, depending on the result of that game at St. Charles Catholic this evening. Pope John Paul, Patrick Taylor, Northlake Christian, all in position to host first-round games. What a great story Patrick Taylor is, a new program on the football side of things and looking to be in position to play first-round home games. Schools like Houma Christian, St. Thomas Aquinas, Sophie B. Wright, Jefferson Rise Charter, and Country Day are in that 17 to 24 range and in position to make the playoffs, but they would have to travel in the first round. As you move to Division 4, St. Martin's and Riverside, district rivals. Riverside won the regular season meeting here. St. Martin's, though, with a slightly better strength of schedule, and they are just ahead in the power rankings at number 2. Riverside is number 3, but here's where things get interesting. You look at Ouachita Christian and Southern Lab at 4 and 5. They're both in action, or Ouachita Christian is actually done. Southern Lab in action this evening. Both of those schools are projected to perhaps jump St. Martin's and Riverside and move it to the 2 and 3 slots. St. Martin and Riverside would slip back to 4 and 5, still with the opportunity to get a first round bye, but then that would put them on a collision course to meet in the quarterfinals the night after Thanksgiving. That'll wrap it up for our look around the power rankings, courtesy of our partners at GoPreps.com. Again, Bracket Sunday is less than 48 hours away. The brackets will be revealed at 11 a.m. Sunday on the LHSAA network. All right, so that's a breakdown for you of everything that's going on heading into tonight, and we'll catch you up on some scores and get some analysis. We'll focus on what's going on in this area. Let's look at some of the partials that we have. Riverside and St. Martin's were two, and we talked about. Riverside is way on top of Crescent City, 35-0 second quarter. St. Martin's playing in Varnado this evening. North Lake Christian, a 15-12 lead over Independence, second quarter. Halftime at St. Charles Catholic, 7. Newman, nothing in that big showdown down the road from us in LaPlace. First quarter, last we hit, South Platte leading Jefferson Rise Charter 7-0. Earlier today, final score, ML King Charter over Country Day 22-19. Country Day right on the bubble. So that have to see how that plays out in terms of their hopes of going to the postseason. Our game here is 20-12, of course, at halftime. Second quarter, Patrick Taylor leading Haynes 14-7. Patrick Taylor in position, as we talked about there, in the power ranking package to host a playoff game. What a great story that is.
Yeah, they've done a great job over there, and that's Kenny Bourgeois. He's one of my former players, and he does a great job. He and his kids, he and his staff, and they're gonna have a shot hosting that first playoff game, right?
Yeah, that would be huge, and obviously something very big for them as well. Second quarter, Salmon leading Oranger 20-0. Third quarter, Franklinton and Lakeshore tied at 7. Enormous game for both of those teams in terms of whether they're getting in or positioning in the playoffs. Second quarter, Higgins leads Abramson 12-0. Halftime, Pearl River over Hannon 37-12. Halftime, Bell Chase over Landry 14-0. St. James's longtime rival here in the parish, Lutcher, leading Ellender tonight 28-0 second quarter. Halftime, now this is interesting one. Hammond leading Ponchatoula 24-6. Ponchatoula with a win, be in position to perhaps host a playoff game, but they are trailing 24-6 at the break. Halftime, North Shore over Slidell 13-7. Slidell is on the bubble in a big way, trying to get in. North Shore in a little bit better position. Second quarter, Mandeville leading Covington 14-0. Halftime, Destrehan over Thibodaux 17-0. Of course, we talked about at the top of that package, Destrehan in position to be a top 4 seed once again, which would give them a first-round bye in the playoffs. Second quarter, the Willow School leading East Jefferson 21-7. The big game of the night potentially, halftime, John Curtis 21, Carr nothing. And if that holds up, that is 6-22 for J.T. Curtis.
Yeah,
and that becomes and look, there are other parts to this story now because all of a sudden Curtis has a chance with a win, and again you start looking at projections and a lot of things, what has to happen and stuff like that. But they were sitting at 10. Now all of a sudden with a win over a team like Carr, now you're looking at picking up 19 points instead of 10, or 18.9 points instead of 10. Now you're talking about you may move up into that top 8 and get a first round bye.
And Holy Cross would be sitting very pretty.
And Holy Cross would then be the number one overall seed in the as you saw there, they were number 1. Carr goes to 1 with a win tonight. A Carr loss, and Holy Cross is number 1.
Correct. A lot going on.
Yeah, that could shuffle a lot of things. Second quarter, Fontainebleau leading St. Paul's 21-14. St. Paul's is 8-1. They are in position to win an outright district championship there, and trailing right now to Fontainebleau second quarter. Terrebonne leading Hanville 21-14 second quarter. Second quarter, Karen Crow and Shaw tied at 21. That is a non-district game like we mentioned, but big for power points in both the Division I and the Division II select bracket. Both of those teams right now in position to get a first-round bye. Second quarter, Chalmette leading West Jeff 28-0. The Owls trying to wrap up the district title outright, and they will get a first-round home game next week.
Yeah.
Halftime at the Shrine on Airline. This is another big one here. Jesuit 13, Rummel 10. We touched on it a little bit in the package, but here's your basic scenario here. Rummel wins, they hang on to a first-round home game. Jesuit wins, they can jump into the top 16, now get a home game. And one of the scenarios that I saw, Wade, is it would be a rematch against Rummel next week. So, a long way to go. There's still 24 minutes of football, and it's a 3-point game.
What evil webs we weave, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's crazy.
Look, and one final score, second quarter at Gormley tonight, Brother Martin leading St. Aug by the score of 7-6. So, everybody, once you went to the PowerPoint system, everybody who had the resource to do it, had a coach on their staff. It's your job to keep track of what's going on with the power rankings so we have a better idea. There were no GoPreps.com back then tracking everything minute by minute, seemingly, in terms of what would go on. The LHSA would put some stuff out there, but even then, you'd still have to go back and you could challenge things.
There was an old website, and it's no longer up. You remember Ken Ramsey's website out of Monroe?
Exactly.
Ken Ramsey was Johnny on the spot with a lot of that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
I don't know, and you might know this, I kind of lost track of what happened to all of his website and everything of that nature, but everybody would jump on that Ken Ramsey's website and see what Ken Ramsey had to say about who would see who and who had the PowerPoints and who had the buys and if there were any buys and things of that nature, all of that back then. So yeah, the technology has come such a long way, but everybody kind of kept an eye on those power ratings when you got into week 9 and 10. You're right, honey.
And you got to be ready for it the whole way through. So that's the other thing is you can't just do it at the very end. You've got to be keeping up with it the whole time, right?
The problem with that is somebody's keeping track of it, and I'm going to speak for myself here. I didn't want to know, right? Because I felt I had more preparation to do for our program and our kids than that. Did I have somebody kind of keep an eye on that? And I told them, don't tell me a thing until we get down towards the end? Yes, I did. The problem is in week 10, as we see out there on the scoreboard tonight, some people could be looking more at power ratings than worried about what's going on in the field in front of them.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, that's
so it becomes a distraction. So I would tell my coaching staff, don't even bring it up. Mm-hmm. But the problem with technology today, every kid's got it on his phone, right?
Sure.
So they could go home on their phone and look whatever they want to up. Look, I retired from coaching. I still had a flip phone. All right, so there you go. That kind of tells you we had technology, but it isn't to the point where it is today. You tell kids to stay off of that, to ignore the noise, and keep your mind in on what is at hand. Kids are kids. They're going home. They're getting all over that whatever
they see
that
whatever
iPad
it is
thing or their phone or that sort of stuff.
Right, they're seeing whatever it is to be seen out there. There's no question about that. There's no keeping the information. Take a look at the halftime stats there, Wade. E.D. White, not a surprise with the rushing yards that they have just really ground and pound this thing. 189 yards on the ground, 225 yards total. St. James dominant through the air, 109 through the air, 148 total.
The one stat that we don't have shown up there would be time of possession, right?
And it's pretty big in the favor of E.D. White.
No
exactly.
Doubt. And that's their remote. That's what they like to do. They like to hold on to the ball, like I said, and cross white lines and move chains. And they've done that. You can see that especially in their rush yards. So
do some quick math here and try to figure out exactly what that is. But basically, some quick math tells me that
a lot to
they've had it. No. That St. James has had the ball for less than 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So E.D. White's had it for 16.
Right.
And their E.D. White scoring drives, 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's over a quarter.
That was the first. That was the first one.
Right?
Yeah, that was the first. Even though they took 12 plays, they had to go a little quicker. It took 3:07, but they did exactly what they needed to do. They used the rest of the half, and now they're going to get the football to start the third quarter. What are both coaches talking to their teams about in the locker room right now?
Well, E.D. White, what they're talking about right now is on the defensive side of the ball, they want to stay away from the big strike. They've got to figure out how to be able to stop the run with Williams, but still be able not to get outflanked by their receivers in the quick passing game. So you only got two choices, and this is what they're trying to decide over now. Do they take people out of the box, or do they try to keep the same amount of people in the box but widen your flanks out, which open different lanes for Williams to run the ball inside, right? So that's a decision we'll know real soon once St. James gets the ball on offense what decision E.D. White's going to make, all right? They're talking about offensively, E.D. White, that is. Hey, continue doing what we're doing. We're going to continue with our same game plan. Let's make sure we don't put the ball on the ground. Let's make sure that we stay mistake and error-free away from penalties. Now, St. James is talking about, hey, they're talking about assignment football on defense. Remember our assignments? Let's make sure that we cover those assignments. Let's make sure we're where we have to be when we have to be and make sure we make the play when we're there. They're capable of doing it. They just sometimes get a little disheveled, as I said, and that's when E.D. White will strike them with a quick one or a big one, right? Now, offensively, St. James is talking right now, hey, we're going to continue to get the ball into our playmakers' hands. We want to continue to be able to get that ball out of our quarterback's hands quickly, and then when the time comes, our quarterback, Williams that is, needs to continue making the plays that he makes athletically, because he did some nice athletic plays in the first half, as we saw. So that's kind of what, both sides of the locker rooms were talking about offensively and defensively in there. Hey, special teams wise, let me tell you something. They got to get their PAT game down, both of them, right?
Both of them, but yeah, they've had issues.
Somebody, I'm sure somebody brought their kicker into the shower and said, hey, get yourself right.
No doubt.
At least that's what I would do. You got one job. Put it through the uprights. And that's both ways, right? Because E.D. White missed one, and St. James has missed two, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So, yeah, St. James has missed two. E.D. White has missed one. So we get ready. We hear the train whistle. Yeah, and tell the story about
Well, at the old stadium over off of River Road there in Vacherie, the story goes that a train would always come by at a certain point in time in a St. James football game. And, of course, they'd sound off with the horn, and the train would sit there and watch the game for a while. Usually when the train came, St. James was kind of either down on the scoreboard or, having their hands full with the opposite their opponent, their team, the opposite team. And when the train showed up, the crowd, the team, and everybody knew now that the train's here, we're rolling. So that's what that horn signifies over here at the new stadium here in Vacherie. Beautiful stadium, beautiful brand new school built over here in St. James Parish. And they brought the train horn with them to signify that tradition at the old campus and at the old stadium. It's a beautiful thing. It's loud, but it's a beautiful thing. Traditions are beautiful things.
No doubt about it. And St. James back out on the field warming up. E.D. White huddling up in the other end zone right now. And look, it's there's still a lot of time to go here, and that's it's this first series of the third quarter is going to be pivotal for this St. James defense to. I mean, get a takeaway, that's great. You get to stop and just get the ball back to give yourself a chance to get something done down by 8. That's that's big as well.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's another thing they're talking about. Hey, we get the ball first, E.D. White. They were talking to their kids, let's go down and score. We might be able to put this thing to sleep. And then in the defensive locker room at St. James, they're saying, hey, right now, 3 and out. Let's set the tempo, get the ball back in our offense's hands so we can roll.
All right, so officials huddling up at the nose of the Wildcat there on the 50-yard line.
I think they're still talking about the last scoring play.
I wonder if they went in and watched the Crescent City Sports replay there to take a look and see what they saw. Obviously, look, they had to see something there,
right?
And that's somebody. You've got 7 officials there. Somebody's got to see the ball across. Now the question becomes, did did a body part hit before the ball crossed? And that's what it is you've got to be looking at right there. So it's, again, we're looking at instant replays. They're looking at it full speed, real time. There are no replays to go to in high school football until you get to the state championship game. So,
I don't have a comment about that.
Right.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. And, when they get into the Dome, into the state finals, they'll have the chance to be able to look at replays. However, none of the officials are trained on looking at replays.
Well, they've got people who are. That's the other thing. It's not that they're making the.
But it takes a long time.
No, it does. It does, and it does slow down the tempo.
It just slows tempo down, and it slows down your momentum. And I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. If it's something you're doing all year long, or hey, how about all through the playoffs? From week 1 of the playoffs until the state finals, I can agree to that.
But again, it takes equipment, it takes cameras. There are a lot of things. I mean, the technology that's out there.
Takes money.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand that. It's just in the last how many years have they done this now in the state finals? The last 4?
Oh gosh, I believe so. Yeah.
Right.
The first one I remember. It was the year that Easton and Carr met in the finals, and there were a couple of plays in there that got changed in that game. And that's the thing. There were probably a dozen plays in the course of that got changed. And it was only the non-select ones too. Right. And it's just stuff got right. That was the thing. Did it slow it down? Yes. Did calls get made right? Yes. So in that situation. Well, if this were a state championship game, obviously you'd be, different television perspective, more cameras, and you might have been able to get a better look at that, and you would either confirmed it or made it stand or overturn it, okay, in a state championship game. Not that there's anything, different about this. There's a lot of ramifications here, okay, but that is for the gold trophy.
Right.
All right, we get set to start here in the third quarter. St. James will kick this off. Going from left to right. Looks like we got a new kicker out there. Saw him warming up. That's one of the offensive linemen, Deuce Williams, who's going to kick off here.
That's a big guy. He could deflate that ball.
That's a good kick out to about the 19-yard line. Return is up the middle, out past the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Will go Ben Guidry. And that is where E.D. White will take over here for their first possession of quarter number 3.
That's outstanding. The kicker, big offensive lineman out there kicking the ball. He was so excited. He comes running off the field, clapping his hands. That's awesome.
Whenever you got power, come on.
So call it the 38-yard line. Quarterback's going to keep it. Some great penetration that time to not allow him to go anywhere. That was, I believe, 35. That's Nick Chopin, 14th tackle for loss this year, along with DeAndre Vito getting in there to generate some penetration. And you get another look at it, Wade, but there's...
Right.
Yeah, well, Chopin's the one who got back there, first loss of one on the play.
Yeah, they pitched Chopin down from his defensive end position, and he takes the quarterback on the disconnect. Nice job. That is assignment football against an option team.
It's still 13 as well, man.
So second down and 11. First time in a while, E.D. White has worked from behind the chains. Quarterback will pitch this time. Ball's on the ground. Nice heads-up play by Rodrigue to fall on it and avert disaster right there, but it's going to be a big loss for E.D. White, a loss of 7 on the play, and now it's going to be third down and 18.
Lenny, you want to talk about an options team's kryptonite, right? This is kryptonite. You can't pitch the ball on the ground. You got to feel the pitch and make sure it's right where it needs to be. When you're talking about feeling the pitch, it's coming out your hands right, it's coming to the right place, it's giving the back a chance to catch the ball. That was a poor pitch.
So at the 30, third and 18. Sternfels rolls, fires, pass incomplete, intended for LaFont, and St. James, Wade, comes up with that 3 and out that they needed, and they're going to get the football back.
Well, that's exactly what they talked about in their defensive meetings at halftime. Let's go out and get that 3 and out. Let's play, assignment football, which they did. They even got themselves a little ball on the ground right there. They're going to be back in business with this punt from E.D. White.
John Curtis has just scored again in that game, and they're going to extend the lead perhaps to 28-0 over Carr midway through the third quarter as the punt is returned out to about the 27-yard line by Kobe Brown in good field position to start here on this first possession of the third quarter for St. James. So now can the Wildcats capitalize?
Hey, we're gonna be in the end zone. No good.
It's 27-0 Curtis over Carr with 5:22 to play in the third quarter. Who saw that coming? Quarterback keeper to the outside and stepping out of bounds after a gain of about 7 on the play. That was quarterback run all the way by Braden Williams. That's the kind of stuff you see Taysom Hill do sometimes on Sunday, Wade.
Well, he's an athlete. Look at this. He's a running back playing quarterback. He can still throw the football. He's a gifted athlete. Let your athletes make plays. It's not about the play itself. It's about the athlete. Get the ball in the hands of your athlete, and that is your guy, Braden Williams.
Trips to the bottom of the screen there. Not much doing inside that time. E.D. White has done a great job of stopping the inside running game of St. James. Williams has gotten some yards on the perimeter, but anything they've tried to do between the tackles has been stuffed up. Charlie Diedrich, the defensive end you see there, the sophomore, coming up with the play. It's a gain of 1.
Yeah, he takes the first threat and bangs it up right there. Very well defended by E.D. White. Strong safety was sitting there for the quarterback should he have kept the ball.
And now a big run. Still on his feet is Cameron LeBlanc out near the 30-yard line. Broke past that first line. Everybody was stacked up. And St. James, to their credit, did a great job of blocking at the point of attack. It's a gain of 13, and they'll go quickly. They'll go right back to the same play again, and they'll get about 7 more.
Yeah,
if it worked once, do it again, right?
They found a nice little soft spot right there on the hard dive. They're blocking down on everything and walling everything off, and
they're going to line up in the same thing again.
Linebacker's not able to get there.
This time they'll go left side. Pushing out near the sticks. It looks like they're going to mark him just slightly short. Let's see. Nope, they're saying first down.
They run it twice to the right. They come back and run it once to the left, and they pick up the first down. Interesting, right? I mean, they found something that worked, and they hit it 3 times in a row.
So put it at the 22-yard line of E.D. White. Now they're back in a conventional formation with their spread look. Trips to the bottom. Brown is the single receiver at the top of your screen. And Williams is going to look that way to the end zone. Pass is intercepted at about the 2-yard line. What an athletic play by Matthew Escher, the senior. We talked about the game he had a week ago, the big game-clinching interception against Sam Houston. He comes up with a big play right here to snuff out this St. James threat, and E.D. White will take over at the 2-yard line.
E.D. White is a cover 4 team, which means they play 2 high safeties, right? Escher being one of those 2. His job is when the number 1 receiver goes vertical, I get on top of number 1. If number 2 does anything else, I let number 2 go, right? So what does he do? He plays his assignment perfectly. He gets on top of the number 1 receiver and picks that ball off for another interception this season for E.D. White.
At the 2-yard line. Running up the gut, not much doing right there.
they're trying to get a little breathing room right there.
And this is, this is an offense that runs the football, obviously, and you see at the end of the play there that Carter Douglas was a little gimpy. But here's the thing. Yeah, this offense is simple with a lot of different looks. But there's a lot of things you really don't want to put in the playbook right here on the goal line. Quarterback's going to keep it, and he's got room to run. 25-30, got out of jail right there. Jake Sternfels with a gain of 28 yards.
Midline, second time I've seen him run it tonight. St. James does not have an answer for the midline. I pointed it out to you. We saw it on the video right here. Look at the split between the guard and the center on the left side. That's telling me midline is coming. They widened the read for the quarterback. They took the 3 technique and widened him out, made a nice, easy read for Sternfeld. He disconnects the ball, dives it up inside, first down. E.D. White's out of a hole.
Now they'll try to come back across the grain this time, and not much doing. You let St. James kind of use their speed right there. You want them to be over-aggressive in a situation like that, but it played right into it, no gain.
Well, you're trying to slow down that over-pursuit with some sort of counterplay.
And they'll go quickly here, or at least line up quickly. 91 yards rushing tonight for Sternfels. He'll throw near side. Pass is caught by Paxton LaFont, but it is well defended. One-on-one by Gary White, the junior DB. He's got 21 tackles on the year. This jumped off the page at me. 20 pass breakups. That won't go as a PBU, but that's going to go as a catch for no gain.
Yeah, for the most, he's done a nice job tonight on the fine wide receiver of E.D. White, Paxton LaFont. We're talking about Gary White, number 3, the defensive back from St. James. He tackles well, covers well. He's given up a lot of height there, but he's not afraid of it. He's getting right into the grill of Paxton LaFont, and he's playing football tonight.
Big 3rd and 10 coming up here. Looked like there was movement before the snap, and now we get a whistle. And it's going to be 3rd and 15 as a false start will be called against the Cardinals.
I'm telling you, this was discussed in the E.D. White locker room at halftime. False starts. What's that, about 3 tonight for them? They haven't had a lot of penalties, but they've been false starts, right? You can't have false starts. I mean, you can't even get the play going forward before you've got to move backwards. I mean, that's a killer. And now that puts you behind the sticks and not on schedule.
3rd and 15. Sternfels rolls, fires, pass caught. Just short of the first down, though, as that was Aiden Sagne, 85, the junior wide receiver, with the catch. And we'll call it the 36. It's going to be 4th and 4, and the punting unit will come on.
St. James again forces a punt.
And we got whistles here before this can get underway. Timeout, St. James. E.D. White ran the punting unit on the field and caught St. James out of kilter right there.
Well, caught him with 12. Can't play with 12.
Well,
right. So that's
you can, but you're going to get penalized for it on 4th and 4, and that was probably part of the idea. 4th and less than 5, you sprint out the punting team, try to go out there and kick quickly before, and you may be able to catch him either with 12.
Right.
Remember that Tulane pulled that off earlier this year.
Yeah, that's
against
transition
UAB.
thing.
Yeah, and or you make them use a timeout in that situation. And in a game like this, in a one-score game right now, timeouts are incredibly valuable. Well, with the timeout, gives us a chance to tell you that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Thibodaux Regional Sports Medicine Center, offering a comprehensive program with a team of certified athletic trainers, fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and orthopedic sports medicine-trained physical therapists to effectively manage injuries and safely return athletes to the game they love. Visit Thibodaux.com to learn more. Punt is on the way. And Brown can't handle it. Now taking on a hop back inside the 20-yard line. And finally, he's going to be brought down right about the 20. Go ahead, say it. Say it, Wade.
I mean,
you got to go get the ball, right?
That's a killer. You got to catch the football. You can't let the ball hit the ground. I mean, look at that positive yardage for E.D. White right there, how it flipped the field, and the negative yardage for St. James.
Yeah, they lose 5. If he catches it cleanly at the 25, he's probably going to get up close to the 30. Instead, they're going to start at the 20. That's the hidden yardage that we talk so often about.
You just can't let that happen. I shake my head every Friday night when the ball hits the ground like that, and every Saturday. Look, you see it on Sundays, right? These guys getting paid 7 figures are letting that happen. You just can't let it happen.
John Curtis has scored again, Wade. It is 33-0 with the extra point coming late in the third quarter. Quick pass. We'll get about 5 on first down. That was Trenton Esther on the catch.
Yeah, again, getting back to what they do well, talking about St. James. Let's get the ball out quick. Let's get it out there into our guys' hands, our receivers' hands, and let's let them run with the football.
That will get near the first down, and seen a lot more of Cameron LeBlanc here in the second half. Clearly, that became a point of emphasis.
Well, they got up to the second level right there with their offensive line. If they can block those E.D. White linebackers, then they're going to make some yards, and they did right there on the inside zone.
3rd and 1, and there's movement up front. And
that was big Jermaine Mitchell.
Yep.
Can't miss him.
No,
Can't miss him.
No.
He wears 75, and what is one large human being.
6'8", over 300 pounds.
He's got to have
our friend Renee Nadeau would say that his birthday is February 8th, 9th, and 10th, you know?
He's got to have a special bed, right?
You would, with that kind of size, you would think so.
I mean,
he's played a lot of sports. He's not just a football player. He's played basketball.
An athlete.
He played baseball.
He's an athlete.
Getting some looks from state schools. 3rd and 6. Pass caught. First down. That was Jakias Villanueva on the catch.
He's had a
nice
dozen. Jakias Villanueva has had a nice night. Caught the ball out of the backfield a couple times. He catches it in those quick outs. He's a nice little athlete. But you see how fast Braden Williams gets rid of this football. Bang, catch, out.
At the 36. Pass caught. That's a little bit different RPO. You fake the quarterback draw and then pull up and throw. And Brown on the catch will get about 5. But you see it here.
Here comes your quarterback draw look. Oh, nope. I think I'm going to throw it out here. I think they tell him on that RPO, if it's there, keep it. If it's not, throw it out there. That's kind of probably what they tell him to do. And Braden Williams is such a good athlete. He can do that. Okay, Coach, I'll take care of that for you.
The thing you got to teach your offensive line is don't go downfield
right.
Williams will roll this way. I think he's going to put it down and go. He is. Out past the 50. First down, St. James. They'll say he stepped out at the E.D. White 49-yard line.
Yeah, E.D. White brings the blitz from the short side of the field with M.J. Sternfels, right? And he shakes him loose. And what do you do with Williams when he shakes loose? You just hold on, right? Because he just takes off, and he is so fast that he is hard to contain. If you, as a defensive player, cannot contain a quarterback like this, it can end up hurting you all night long. And he's done a nice job of hurting E.D. White's defense.
So back in E.D. White territory at the 49, high pass in the direction of Brown, incomplete. Luke Zarang was there in coverage, but that just sailed on Williams that time. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Luke Zarang was right there. He was going to light up Brown, right? That ball off target for the intended receiver. Brown needed to be off target because he was about to get lit up.
Well, And it was also in danger of being his second interception in as many possessions.
Correct.
St. James started this drive back at their 20. They've moved it to the E.D. White 49. And Williams was looking to run that time, had nowhere to go, and he's brought down by Adam Talbot, the 245-pound defensive tackle, the junior.
Yeah, Adam Talbot ate Caden Williams up. Offensive lineman from St. James. Let's see if we can see it on our replay. Right there in the center of your monitors at home. Boy, he just took him and bull rushed him right back into the lap of the quarterback, Williams. Williams had no place to go.
3rd and 15 at the 46. Line to make is the E.D. White 39-yard line. Williams stepping up. He will fire. Pass is incomplete. No flag. I thought it could have been an illegal forward pass there, Wade. Did not see a flag come out. But regardless, it's an incomplete pass, and it's 4th down.
You have one job as a safety, right? When the ball is giving you a pass key, that is not to allow receivers to get on top of you. E.D. White lucks out right here because the safety didn't quite get his number, allowed the receiver to get on top of him. Had a little more air been under that ball, it would have been 6 points St. James.
Well, and I tell you what, Chip Merritt, our producer, did a good job of showing it to you. It looked like he was about a yard beyond the line of scrimmage when he let that ball go. You would have had, we had an uproar about that E.D. White touchdown. If that would have happened there, we'd have had more uproars. Fair catch is called for at the 31, 32-yard line. So a short kick, and E.D. White will begin after about a 22-yard punt with some pretty good field position. A lot better than last time when they got the interception and started back at the 2. Some updates on some of the other games in our area. Jesuit leading Rummel 13-10 third quarter halftime. Brother Martin leading St. Aug 14-6. First down. Nice tackle that time as they had Carter Douglas coming across the formation, and he was brought down in a big way right there. That was Jaden Ambrose, the senior defensive lineman, on the hit. Gain of 1.
Yeah, trying to run the counter. Ambrose was standing at home, would not bite. Made a nice tackle. Here's the counter look right there. There's Ambrose. Bang. Nicely done.
At the 35. Pitch it, and it's well defended that time. A great read by Jarrell Williams that time to bring down the back. It's a loss of 3 on the play. Another look here.
Well, Jarrell Williams is supposed to run the alley right from his safety position. That is lead option. So the safety comes flying downhill. Once he reads option, he knows it is run. There's no threat of a pass. I turn my jets on. That's what Jarrell Williams did, and he makes a nice hit for a loss. Nice defense, nice assignment football by the St. James defense.
Coming up to the 2.5-minute mark here of what has been a scoreless third quarter thus far. Shot down the field, got a man in LaFont, incomplete. Williams in coverage that time. So 1 minute he's up playing the option, the next minute he's back in free safety mode having to deal with Paxton LaFont. It goes incomplete, and it's going to be 3 and out.
That's what a free safety has to do in a defense like that. They pump the short route, and then that sends LaFont deep on the vertical route. Across the top is the free safety Williams, doing a nice job knocking that thing away.
And this punt will sail out of bounds. And at the 32-yard line is where St. James is going to take over here with 2:17 to play in the third quarter. We've seen 5 empty possessions here in the third quarter. Biggest threat came from St. James on their first possession, got inside the 25-yard line, but the interception of Braden Williams by Matthew Escher snuffed that out down at the 2-yard line.
Go cheerlead, man.
St. James moved it from the 20 into E.D. White territory on the last possession, but it died out. Now let's see what happens here as they start at the 32-yard line. They're overloaded to one side of the field here. Now they're going to look to go the other way. That was a lateral. Could have very easily been a double pass, as that was Kobe Brown who took that little pass in. They were trying to get him out on the perimeter, but some good pursuit that time from E.D. White, not allowing anything to come of it. It's a loss of 1.
Yeah, it didn't fool Taylor Thibodeau. He gets out there. They couldn't out-leverage Taylor Thibodeau. Also couldn't get out around Luke Trotty. He did a nice job chasing that down from inside out from his defensive end position.
Yeah, you see it's a lateral.
Look at 44 right there. Turn the Jets on for E.D. White. Nicely done by Trotty.
I don't drive a square body. I drive a round body.
Williams stepping up, firing, pass caught. 40, 35, 30. Jakias Villanueva gets 40, or check that, 39 yards on the catch and run, and St. James is in business.
Villanueva comes up big again, right? I mean, extremely huge tonight with a couple of timely catches. But Williams keeps the thing alive as he scrambles out of there. Good quarterback, keeps his eyes downfield. He did it there and hit Villanueva.
Williams can't avoid the defender and goes down. Credit Luke Trotty with the play right there as he gets Williams to the ground at the 37-yard line, a loss of 7.
Yeah, Trotty comes up big again, comes off the edge and gets home, right? Williams almost escaped that, but remember in high school, if you go down to the ground, you don't have to be touched, right? Even though he down, the play stops right there where you go down.
Same as college.
Right.
The pros you can,
right.
Yeah, if you go down.
Be touchdown.
Right.
A lot of people confuse Friday night rules, Saturday night rules, and Sunday rules.
Williams on the move, trying to find somebody. He's going to have to run. No, he's going to let fly. Pass is incomplete. And I think he was beyond the line of scrimmage again, but I haven't seen a call there. Now I'm seeing a call for an eligible man downfield. No flag I don't know if there's a flag out somewhere, but I'm just seeing a signal from one of the other referees, and that is indeed the call.
Yeah, we got
there's a flag down it's laying on the stripe of the 35-yard line, so it's kind of hard to pick up.
Another ineligible man. So
when you get that scramble drill can make it difficult.
Well, it also depends on whether it was considered RPO or not, and a lot of times these RPO, the RPO game is tough on offensive linemen because they kind of get caught in no man's land as they're trying to run block aggressively, but they kind of slip up. Now, a line judge and an umpire will give that lineman a little bit of leeway, maybe a yard or so, 2 yards, but a lot of times these guys get caught way downfield and they don't mean to. It's just the nature of the play. But you see that also on Saturday and Sunday. And then sometimes you don't even see it called.
Pass this way is caught. Nice catch and run that time by Villanueva, who's going to get some of it. And I think you're in 4-down territory right here, Wade. 4th and 7 at the 27-yard line.
Yes, they are in 4-down territory. I concur. Right.
That's Villanueva's 6th catch tonight. We talked a lot about Brown at the outset, but
Villanueva's hot, right? Yeah. You got to keep feeding the guy that's hot, and Villanueva's hot.
I think they've done a pretty good job here, and good job here by St. James. They're going to let the clock run out. That is the end of the third quarter, so now you get some time here on the changing ends to talk about what it is you want to do on this big 4th and 7 play coming up. 3 quarters are in the books. We have got a good one in Vacherie this evening. Your score after 3, it is E.D. White 20, St. James 12. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
Heard that one, BJ.
Oh, what you drink? What you eat?
All right, we head to the fourth quarter here in Vacherie, and a good one tonight. Lenny Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser with you in the booth, along with our producer Chip Merritt. Matt Merritt, Pearson Morgan, bringing you all the pictures here from St. James on 4th and 7. Williams trying to keep that's going to be brought down all the way back at the 42-yard line.
Drop it. Just fucking put the ball.
Look, as good of a quarterback Braden Williams is and as good of an athlete as he is, he needed just to realize that you just can't keep running backwards, right?
Yeah, that is a loss.
That's huge.
Put it to 43, a loss of 30 on the play. I know you're trying to make a play right there, and give a lot of credit there to Luke Trotty.
He stayed with it, right?
Stayed with it. And now they are going to put it at the 42. Check that.
That's huge. That's a huge shift in field position for
Not just
Edie White.
and momentum as
Right.
well. I mean,
That's huge.
Now all of a sudden, instead if you throw an incomplete pass and the ball's at the 27, now all of a sudden you get field position as well. Quarterback kept it, and nothing doing that time as Trey Williams just blew that up in the backfield.
Trey Williams has done a nice job tonight playing his assignment football from his defensive tackle position. Again, you see that false motion right there, just to try to see if they can get somebody out of position or to see how they're playing them in the secondary.
We've seen, while we've seen that, we've seen these two teams defend each other much better in the second half. Trying to bounce it outside on that belly play, but not much doing that time as Douglas got maybe a yard, and once again it was Trey Williams on the tackle.
Misread on the midline. That should have been a disconnect by Sternfields. He saw the crashing jersey of 55 coming down hard on the very first thread of the fullback. That should have been a huge disconnect. He'll look back at film on that tomorrow and say, I made a misread.
3rd and 12 at the 44. Sternfels dropping deep, letting flies, got LaFont in stride, down at the 1-yard line. LaFont got behind the secondary for a gain of 43, and it's 1st and goal.
Play action pass, a little fake toss, buckled the knees of the secondary of St. James. Watch the fake toss here. There it is. Everybody stopped their feet for one moment. That's all the receiver LaFont needed to get on top of the corner, who has had a great night with him, Gary White.
From the 1, give it away to the fullback, Carter Douglas. He is in for the touchdown for the 3rd time tonight.
Look, St. James comes out in the second half playing great assignment football, has had a great third quarter defensively, right? They let one big play hit on them, and all of a sudden, just like that, Edie White's back on the board.
It's a 2-score game for the first time tonight with 9:48 to play. Four plays, 42 yards on the drive. The extra point is good. It is now 27-12. E.D. White with 9:48 to play. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. The Lamarck Pre-Owned has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models. We even have great deals for under $12,000. Must be a reason. Our son Jacob driving in a Lamarck Pre-Owned.
There you go. And I know you got a good deal, and you ate some popcorn probably when you were there.
I probably did, yes.
But you know, that score right there by Edie White and two big shots, well, should I say one big shot and then walking into the end zone, it started back with the 4th down play with Braden Williams with the flop of the field position on the 4th down. That was a tough flip for St. James to give Edie White the ball again in their own territory, right? So you know, there's a lot of things that led up to that last score, and that was one of them.
Kick is back to the 3-yard line, and the return will come out to about the 25 or 26-yard line. And that was Villanueva on the return.
Well, he's been busy tonight.
Yes, he has. So this is a must-score possession now for St. James.
I was fixing to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
2-score game with 9:48 to play. Look, like you said, you take away a couple of plays here early in the fourth quarter, and I would. A lot of that third quarter was dominated by St. James.
Absolutely.
You know,
seems like they found the answer to the option offense.
Yeah, they were making some defensive plays. They were starting to move the football, and then you know, the 31-yard sack on fourth down,
exactly,
followed by the 43-yard completion on 3rd and 12. That's a big swing. It's a lateral as Villanueva will try to turn it upfield. He will get maybe a yard.
Nice play by Taylor Thibodeau getting out there. He's a 5'10", 160-pound senior from his strong safety position, outside linebacker position, running down the speedy Villanueva. Always impressed with the feat of Braden Williams. Look,
no doubt. It can be a blessing and a curse, okay?
Right.
But obviously trying to make a play like he did earlier, but he can also do things like that, gain 11 yards.
Yeah, quarterback draw all the way. He can make it happen, right?
At the 38. We heard a whistle. Yeah, we have. It's an incomplete pass. I thought maybe that might have been a lateral.
Right. Well, you chase it down any way you look at it. If you're in a white jersey, you go pick it up, play to the echo of the whistle. If you're in a black jersey, you better go chase the ball down because you just can't trust the officials on their angle and their call, right? It's just good coaching.
You gotta play. Until you hear a whistle,
right,
you keep playing. No doubt. Movement up front.
Going to get a procedure on St. James.
They'll be behind the sticks. So now it's 2nd and 15. Whoa. Tried to run that little bubble screen, and Kobe Brown has really not been able to get on track here in the second half. They've done a nice job defending him.
Well, they're throwing that into the short, right? They're throwing that into the short side of the field right here. That doesn't give him a lot of room to operate because he couldn't. Number one, the ball was a little bit misplaced. He didn't get a chance to catch the ball and slide in behind his big offensive line that was coming out there to block for him. But Sternfels is there to make sure it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, he's got 2 catches for 3 yards in the second half. Now dialing one up deep. Got a man! Caught inside the 20 down to the 13-yard line goes Trenton Esther. Gain of 56.
He is on top of every safety that E.D. White has. And the question I've got to ask is why, and I'm sure the question of the defensive coordinator for E.D. White is asking why. No play action off of that, straight 5-step drop, and let's air the ball out. Somewhere along the way, the safety stopped their feet.
Pass incomplete.
I mean, that was a beautiful pitch and catch right there. Braden Williams drops a dime, and St. James is in business here. And like you said, this is a must drive, must come away with points with 7:48 on the clock.
So far, only 2 minutes off the clock in this possession. So obviously that big play has allowed them to potentially get back in business here. Now, it is a 15-point game. You got a decision to make if you do score a touchdown. Your kicking operation has not been very good, and you got to get something. You got to get something to make it a one-score game, either 1 or 2. On the ground, out inside the 5, put it at the 1-yard line on the run by Connie King Young. First time we've called his name in a while, Wade.
Everything opened up for him right there, and he gets squirts right through there, and nobody touches him until he gets down to the 3.
Quarterback keeper, and for the touchdown is Braden Williams.
St. James fouls up what they need, a big play, and then Williams taps it off and puts it in the end zone. Now, here's your choice of what you need to do.
Let's see. It looks like they're going to line up for the 1.
Right.
And you got to get this to make it a one-score game. It's 9 right now. I've always been a believer. You've seen teams start to operate this a little bit differently, but if you're down by 9, you kick the extra point to try to make it 8.
Yeah. I mean, I think you kick the extra point, but then there's all other things that you've got to take into account for. Like, can your kicker kick?
Well, he's 37 of 50 on extra points this year. That is on the way. That is good. That's a big needed kick right there with 7:29 to play, capping an 8-play, 74-yard drive, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. And St. James has made this a 27-19 game. Good one we've got going.
Yeah, absolutely. The operation looked a lot cleaner there on the PAT. And look, everything that they wanted, they needed to get on that drive, and they got it.
You get a look at the scoreboard here at St. James, and at the bottom of the board there, if we pan down a little bit, you'll see the message of tradition, honor, discipline, excellence. And our friend Rick Galey, that was his mantra that he brought to this program and stayed with this program. He's been gone from coaching here for 20 years or so.
Right.
And of course he left us 6 years ago. And by the way, we should mention, Rick excelled everything they did. Okay, Rick was a great football coach. Rick got out of coaching, started doing some media work, and was fabulous at that, and being able to break down, film and whatever, and was great at that as well. And by the way, long before he did any of that, the guy was an All-American golfer at UNO.
He could play some golf.
He could play some golf. Was a city champion. In fact, he's going to be inducted into UNO's Hall of Fame next Friday night. As a freshman, he was runner-up for individual medalist honors, was a 2-time national champion, and the only 3-time All-American in any sport in the history of UNO athletics. And he's well-deserved going to be inducted in UNO's Hall of Fame a week from tonight. And that's going to be at UNO. Tickets are on sale. You can find the information at UNOprivateers.com, or you can call UNO's ticket office 504-280-GAME to find out. If you're a St. James fan, you want to go out and support. Coach Gale, you've done so much for this program for so long. Getting honored by his alma mater. Please go out and check it out.
Yeah, he meant so much to the coaching profession here in the state of Louisiana, to all of his high school coaches. I mean, I still use some of his, he had some great one-liners, and I still use them, right? And he taught a lot of football to a lot of coaches here in the state.
And did a lot of work with the Louisiana Football Coaches Association as well.
Yes, he did. And he held clinics. He was a big wing T guy and loved the offense. and he was a teacher of fundamentals and skills out of the offense to all of us coaches here in the state. Even guys that weren't wing T coaches would come and listen to him talk and pick up tips and he was just an outstanding football coach, but an outstanding gentleman. Eddie White here wants to burn a clock that they've got to get first down.
Yeah, the big play coming up here on the 3rd and 7 at the 38. Sweep. Trying to get to the edge. They're not going to get there. Nice job by the St. James defense, stringing it out for Dewey. Gary White coming up from his DB spot to make the stop at the gain of 1.
Yeah, you want to set the edge right on a toss sweep. Gary White sets the edge. Great job. Gary White's had a great ball game except for that one pass in which the receiver LaFont got on top of him last series, right? But other than that, he's done a great job all night, and there's another example of good defense by St. James forcing the punt.
The punt is on the way. Brown going to call for a fair catch and take it in at the 21-yard line. So here's what you wanted if you're St. James, right? 5:25 to play. One score game. You got a chance now to put the drive together. I'll call it officially the 22-yard line.
Well, if there's a storybook ending in this game, St. James right now would write it, right? They get the ball with 5:25. They've got two timeouts, and they want to be able to absorb some of this clock and get a chance to come down the field and tie this thing up.
It's going to take a score and a 2-point play. Trips to the bottom. Quarterback draw. Got some room to the edge. 35 to the 36-yard line, a gain of 14.
Again, we see the athleticism and the strength of Braden Williams. It has been on display tonight.
Check to the sidelines, get the play they want. Taking a little long here. Play clock's down under 15. Now down to 10. Now they get settled in. Give it away on first down. Got the edge here. 40, 45 midfield. 45, 40. What a run that time. As Ja'Kias Villanueva lined up in the backfield there. Makes a big play at the gain of 26.
Blocking out on the edge was phenomenal. Kobe Brown did a great job on sealing Luke Zarang out there that allowed Villanueva to get out on the edge and pick up huge yardage. St. James in business in Eddie White territory.
At the 38, Villanueva over 140 total yards tonight. He's just a sophomore, don't forget. Looking quarterback draw. Williams this way will get about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
St. James, what they want to do, what they don't want to do is they don't want to be able to force that they give a lot of time left to Eddie White to be able to drive of their own on their next series, right? So they want to be able to kind of control what they're doing time-wise and make sure they come up with points here at the end of their drive.
Pass, incomplete. Third and 4.
Trying to hit the slant route. Linebacker got in between the quarterback's vision and the receiver's vision. Held on to the ball a little bit too long. And Braden Williams needed to deliver that a little bit quicker. He might have had a chance on the slant route, but he allowed the linebacker just to close the window. Just over 3.5 to play.
Give it away. Here, the first first down. Let's see the spot. Did Cuddy King Young get there? It looks like they're going to give him the 28. Yes, they will. Haven't seen it. Yes, they will. First down. I hadn't seen a signal.
Other side of the center and the guard into the A-gap on that side for nice yardage. He used it again that time, and it looks like they are going to measure this.
Wow, are they? Wow, they had signaled first down. Now the chains are going to come out. This is interesting. Here's the thing. I see way too often close plays for first downs where they just choose not to mention. Say, okay, it's first down. In this kind of game, though, you should absolutely measure. You should absolutely use the sticks and see what the situation is and make sure you've got it right.
It's also the coach's job to get all over that official on the boundary and tell him you want to measure.
And it is a first down. And look who's out there helping signal it is Jermaine Mitchell. All 6'8" of it.
I would wear an official out on my boundary if I thought but let me tell you a couple of things, right? Not every field is even, and not every chains are right. Right? So I'm out there screaming, I want a measurement. You get denied every now and then, but most times they're going to grant your measurement. So that's also the job of the EDY coach to make sure they got a measurement. In that case, it was a first down. It was a good spot. St. James ready to roll now.
At the 28. That's a little shovel pass forward. Get about 3 yards as that was Villanueva on the catch, giving maybe 2. It's going to be second down and 8.
Nice defensive play by Matthew Escher. Again coming downhill from his position into the alley to pull down. Busy here in this second half. This is about the 5th time that he's gotten home every time. He's gotten home a couple times. He's gotten home a couple throwing downs. It's vital for Edie White's defense.
Third and 8 at the 26. Villanueva out in the flat. Williams trying to keep it alive. Now let's fly. I think that got deflected. 4th down coming up. Here's your ball game.
All right, a little twist by the Edie White defense that time. They were double covering Kobe Brown. They were high-low on him. They had somebody on his hip, and they had covering on top of him, Matthew Escher. So it was a nice little bracket coverage when they went man everywhere else across the board on all of these St. James receivers. That was interesting. Broke out of their zone. Normally zone coverage, 3 deep coverage, or 2 high coverage sometimes to put a double cover on Kobe Brown. Let's see if they do it again here in this vital situation of 4th and 7.
4th and 8 at the 26. Timeout East St. John. They have just 1 timeout remaining with 2:19 to play.
This is your ball game right there.
Here's the thing here. You can't get a stop here. St. James has 1 timeout remaining. 2:19 to play. You don't get a stop here. Now the best you can do is hope for a 3 and out and maybe get the ball back inside a minute with no timeouts, needing a touchdown. Assuming there would be no turnover or anything like that. So the line to make is the 18-yard line. All right.
Kobe Brown. Look for Kobe Brown. Somehow they got to get him the ball.
Brown is at the bottom. Brown is at the bottom of your screen. Now they put him and Villanueva together. At the bottom. Bring Villanueva in motion. Fake little toss there. A little toss there. Looking for Brown. And it is incomplete. Broken up by Luke Zarang.
Zarang makes a great play driving on that ball. It's a stick out. Brown trying to get to the stick. Run past it, come back, get that ball, get the first down, but he will not be able to make the play because of Zarang driving on the football, getting his hands into the hands of Brown to knock that ball away. Johnny on the spot. Edie White takes over with 2:13 on the clock. I like the idea. I like the thought process of St. James. You got to go to your players. You got to think players make big plays in times, right? And they did that. They just could not complete on the pass. A lot of it had to do with let's have one more time out, I guess. That's going to be our ball game.
Sternfeld's fields. The teams will meet at field, the middle of the field. Another great one in this long-time rivalry between Edie White and St. James. Goes the way for the third straight year to the Cardinals by the score of 27-19. Wait, final thought.
Well, two great football teams, and they're going on into the playoffs, and they're going to be two teams that are going to have to be contended with in the brackets, and they're going to be in two very well-coached football teams that we saw here tonight. And it was, I love the football game. I enjoyed watching both teams. Two great, like I said, coach teams, and it's playoff week starting next.
A reminder, we will have playoff football for you next Friday night. Somewhere. We don't know where yet. Of course, the brackets have to get set. We have to get approvals for new games. But stay with CrescentCitySports.com. We will let you know more about our playoff schedule. Thanks for everyone for joining us tonight. For Wade Kreiser, for our entire Crescent City Sports crew, I'm Money Van Gilder saying so long from Vachery. Once again, your final score, Edie White 27, St. James 19. Until next